Hello everybody, welcome back to Ramblin' Michigander. I hope you enjoyed our last video. We're here today back at home for a couple of smaller projects we're going to be tackling today, 2 or 3 of them depending on how they go and how much time we have. Before we get into it though, there are one thing I want to talk to you about. You may notice the lack of travel videos so far this year. First reason for that is that I haven't gone anywhere. I work full time, and this is the first week in August, and I just started my vacation. So hopefully we're going to actually be taking some trips here coming pretty soon. We got one planned starting at the end of this month, hopefully to get some smaller trips in kind of on the spur of the moment. Still this month, we don't have anything planned for October yet, so hopefully we'll get something done there. Now, that was the reason number one. Reason number two is that I'm actually starting to steer this channel away from travel videos and focus more on repair, upgrade, modification videos because of that. The reason for that, is frankly, it's viewership. I mean, that sounds shallow, but that's what it boils down to. You spend hours and hours recording video and then more hours editing and uploading. And frankly, my traveling videos haven't gotten nearly enough views to make that worth my while. My last handful of travel videos got less than 200 views, which is really not much, not really worth doing, quite frankly. However, I've noticed that the videos of repairs that I've done have gotten great views. My last video with the sewer hose holder modification got to, I think it's at 800 now. And the one where I put the new relay board in my air conditioner, last I looked, I think it's over 3,000, maybe more than that now. If I recall, it's been a while since I looked. So people seem more interested in traveling and repairing and modifying videos than they are in traveling videos. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is basically only uploading travel videos when we are somewhere that's particularly interesting. If I see something particularly interesting or we're going somewhere that I think would make a really good video, I'll do that. But I don't think I'm going to be just recording everywhere we go anymore because it became burdensome, and the viewership for that was just not up where it needed to be to make it worth doing. So I just go with the flow, folks. I'm going with the, giving the people what they want, as they say. So it may upset some of you, so I apologize for that. If you want, you can follow me on Facebook, like I say at the end of every video, facebook.com/ramblinmichigander, and it's very likely that I will post some, candid videos that I just record on a whim when I'm someplace, and so you'll be able to get clips here and there, and you'll be able to get lots of photos of our travels and things like that. So if you really enjoy watching my travels, then that's where you want to go for that stuff, because the YouTube channel is probably going to be 90+% repair and upgrade videos from now on. Sorry, that's just the way it goes. So, in that spirit, we are here today to do a couple of modifications, not modifications as much as upgrades and repairs to the Safari. We're going to start with the windshield wipers. These are some sort of bus windshield wiper arm that they use on school buses, and they've got this kind of a weird setup here as far as how this attaches. It uses this bolt to attach the blade to this saddle, so I had to custom order these blades. I can't just go to an auto parts store and get these blades. And the other problem we're having here, if I can get an image of it, this guy right here, this is the washer fluid squirter bracket dealy, and it's supposed to attach to this little guy right here. I don't know how well that's coming out in the photo, if there's enough light, but basically it's broken, and this is not staying on anymore. This is the little nozzle, and without this thing being attached properly, it basically just sort of pours onto the lower part of the windshield and doesn't get to the upper part. And it's happening on the other one too. So what I did is I ordered wipers, blades, and these nozzles. So that's what we're going to install today. And the other thing I'd like to do, if we can, is actually, you know what, let me spin the camera around and I'll show you. All right, so the other thing I'd like to do today is satisfy my little bit of OCD and adjust this arm. We have to take it off here and bring it down so that they're an even distance apart. You'll notice this one's too far to the right and they don't line up. And that is a minor thing, it seems. However, when this wiper wipes, the bottom of the blade actually comes down. You can't really see it here. It actually can. It's actually wearing on this rubber here because it comes down and it actually goes onto this rubber before coming back up, and it's wearing on here. So we do need to fix that. What was I just going to talk about? Oh yes, you'll notice this weird colored stuff here. This was actually a leak. The windshield was leaking at some point. The previous owner put this gunk on, and I have every intention, hopefully still this year, damn fly, hopefully still this year, of actually taking this place to a glass professional and actually having the windshields removed, hopefully without breaking them, and having them resealed and get that ugly gunk off of there, because it's been on there for 2-3 years now and it's hideous, and I really want to get it off of there. The other thing I'm thinking of doing at some point is doing something to make the front end look better. From a distance, it doesn't look too bad, but once you get up close, you start to see things like this and all these little white bits. I mean, aside from the bugs, obviously, this is all areas where rocks and stuff have hit the thing and they've chipped the paint, and it's looking pretty bad, honestly, in the front. I don't like it. The bugs also stick to it like glue. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to clean the bugs off the front of this thing. What I'm kind of thinking of doing is actually using spray-on bed liner, which would not only deal with the imperfections, but it would also, protect the thing from future damage. The problem with that is that these designs, the Trek name, the little lion there, would all have to go. They'd be covered up. So I'm batting that around. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I hate to cover up that Trek word, but I don't know, maybe it's worth it. The other question is, what color would I do? I'd have to do all one color, which means the tan here, the white, and the tan here would all be one color, and it wouldn't be the same color as the side, so I'd have to go with some sort of a contrasting color that might go along with it. I don't know if maybe just all black or all white, or maybe I could do a half and half, white on top, black on bottom, that sort of thing. You can only really get basic colors. You can get different colors, but only basic ones. So I would not be able to match this color. So I don't know, let me know what you think of that idea, if it's worth doing. And if you think it would look good, what color do you think would look good? I'm interested in your opinions. So yeah, comment down below and let me know what you think. Anyway, first things first, we're going to replace this wiper and nozzle. Then we will deal with this one, because this one's going to be a bit more effort. So I'll get back to you in a minute. All right, so to take this off should be just a simple matter of removing this one bolt. Maybe help if I put the ratchet in the right position. Loosen. Okay. Stick that on there. Loosen this. Yes, one simple bolt. Tiny little nut. I gotta be careful. There we go. Put this back together so I don't lose it. Set it down here. Okay, now. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so that's the part that broke right there. And so this is, I'm gonna get the new wiper blade and see what it looks like. So as you can see, the new wiper blade isn't identical to the old one. This is some weird single blade thing. I actually do like this kind of blade, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't find it. This was all that the site that I found had, so hopefully this will be all right. But I got to get the new bracket out of this bag here. Actually, I can stick this in for now. Let that sit there. Okay, so apparently this new piece that I bought is slightly different. Actually, no, it's not. It's exactly the same, but it comes with this square piece. Yeah, so I got to get this square piece out of this tube, hopefully. Hopefully I can get this square piece out without damaging this tube. Oh good. It broke free, right? Easy. So just work it out. Out it comes. And then set that down there. Should just have to stick this in there. Flared a little bit more than the old one, so let's work it in there. That on there all the way, and that should just... Doesn't. Why doesn't it? Why doesn't that bolt on there? Oh, maybe that's supposed to be... Oh, hang on. I think I might have grabbed the wrong... Oh, this might be the one for the other side. Hang on. Yes, I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, the guy's doing my lawn. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, folks. So here's what I did. Unfortunately, I couldn't get this bolt super tight. It's really quite wobbly, but I don't think it'll matter. The problem is that I don't have a wrench the size of this little nut here. Mine are either too big or too small. I think it's a 7mm, and I don't have a 7mm wrench, which is annoying. My wrenches only go down to 8, and my Imperial wrenches, it's between sizes, so I couldn't get it tight enough. So, but I think it's tight enough to hold. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So yeah, here's the new nozzle, and basically what it does is it has a tiny little hole on this side and a tiny little hole on the back side where the tube is, and so some squirts up, some squirts down, and sort of gets most of the windshield. So we can go ahead and swing that back. There we go. And now we just got to do this one. This one's going to be trickier because, come on, focus. This one's going to be trickier because I got to get this thing off of there. And it's been on there for probably 20 years. That's the original arm from what I can tell. So that might be tough to get off. We'll see how it goes. All right, so there are 2 bolts, big one and a little one. Get one off. Oh, that came off easily. Okay. Getting the nut off isn't my concern. It's getting that off of the... That's going to be interesting. Okay. Ooh, that's stiff. All right, this one's loose. Come on, there we go. Oh, of course, there's a washer. Keep track of that. Okay. Oh, dear. Maybe I have to spray a little WD-40 in there. Oh, dear. That's really tight. All right, let's see what we can do here. Oh, shoot. Ah! Ha 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 ha! Yes! Man, triumph over object? I don't know. Oh! That was really stupid. So, now, let me just... Now, I can't move the camera because I can't let this go because this is all attached. But basically, there's a whole bunch of little splines on this little thing here, and they match up with the same splines in here. And so that's what allows it to move. So, I gotta try to line this back up. Whoops. That looks about right. Let me try that. Oh, crap. Okay. Set this here. I need to... That's precarious. All right, gotta be quick. Okay. So first thing I gotta do is put this back in place because I was stupid enough to... there we go. Okay. So what we gotta do is line this thing up. Try to line it up so that it's vertical with the windshield, or at least close to it. Okay, that's... Stay there. Okay, that's pretty close. Okay, get there and bring this back. All right, that's there. So now if I move this that way, whoops, line that up. I'm gonna have to adjust this arm, but see, I don't think we're quite there yet. Doesn't seem like we're quite there yet. So tilt it back, pull it off again, turn it just a tad. 1 or 2 splines is all it's going to take to make the difference. That is too much, I think. I can adjust this a little bit. We might have it, actually. That might be just right. I think that's pretty close. The second arm keeps the blade vertical as it's turning. So as it's swinging back and forth, the blade stays vertical, or relatively vertical. Oh, this nut is really stiff, gunky. All right, that's good there. We'll pull this guy off, and we will replace this arm and this nozzle, and I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, so there's the finished product. Not perfect, but much better. I think that'll work. Now we just got to test and make sure it works. Well, it seems like I went a little too far with them. You can see they're quite far down. So it seems I got to take them off and adjust it up a bit. All right, I'll be back. Alrighty, folks, I got it adjusted a little bit more, tightened up a few things, and it seems good enough. Not 100% perfect, but I don't think it'll ever be 100% perfect. So anyway, I've decided I'm done. It's good enough. Now, the next project I have is a little bit trickier. Let's see if I can get this to stay up. Where's that thing? There it is. Let's see if you can see it. All right, see those orange horn things right there? Yeah, that's the version of a horn that this thing has. And it's kind of a goofy setup. I have to get under there and get a closer look at it. But basically the way it works is when you press the button in the center of the horn, it activates an air pump, which is supposed to power those horns. And I don't know if the system was always this crappy or if it's just that the pump has gotten weak over the years, but the horn is, well, it's a joke. In fact, let me set the camera up in here and show you just how bad it is. Okay, so I don't know exactly how well you heard that. The microphone on the camera's not great. Anyway, it may seem loud enough when we're standing here and it's quiet and everything, but on the highway, nobody can hear that thing. It's useless. So I bought a universal horn kit, a 2-tone horn kit, and my plan is to basically rip the horns out, rip that pump out, and use the power wires going to the pump, which are activated when you press the button on the steering wheel, wire those directly into the new electric horns. So let me go get the kit, and we'll start to look at how we can do this. All right, so these are the 2 horns. I'm assuming they're 2-tone. It said 2-tone in the description online, so hopefully they are. They look pretty much identical, so, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Anyway, it came with all these different connections and brackets and things like that. You can basically set it up any way you want. I have chosen to go with this setup with separate wires that I will hardwire in to the existing setup, because all these other connections they have assume you have whatever plug goes for this. See, all of these have the plugs attached, and I don't have the plug. Yeah, so I don't know if these were actually for a specific type of car or what, because they all seem to have the same plug on them. Anyway, so yeah, that's the plan. Is to first thing we got to do is rip out the old horn and the old pump. So I have to get under there and take a look and see how hard it is to get out. All right, everybody. So unfortunately, there was really no good way for me to record under there. The quarters were just too tight. I couldn't work and record at the same time. But fortunately, I was able to get them out very easily. It was literally like 3 screws, crappy old rusty screws, and they came right out. As it turns out, at high pressure, I quickly connected these to my air compressor at about 25 psi. These things are loud. You wouldn't believe how loud they are once you put some serious pressure behind them, which that pump obviously cannot do. It's simply not powerful enough. Ooh, what kind of bug is that, I wonder? No idea. Nasty. Who is that? Yeah, gross. But I think I'm going to hang on to both of these. This doesn't put out much, but for some reason I got the feeling that a 12-volt air pump could come in handy. Can't imagine what I'd use it for, but I hate to throw it out if it still works, even if it's not very good. And these, boy, I just keep feeling like I could come up with something dastardly to do with those. They are unbelievable. They don't look like much, but man, oh man. So, all right, now, where were we? These wires were connected to that pump, so these should be the wires that will power those horns. I've already got these little connectors on them. I'm wondering if I can reutilize these. If not, I'll have to cut the wire, splice, and heat shrink the connections. So let me go get those pumps out here and see what we can do with them. All right, so the box did come with this little guy, which is designed for just the type of connections we have. Unfortunately, there's only the one. Well, that's not actually true. There is another one, but there's no way for me to utilize this without basically making wires, and there's no point. But what I could do is use this to test these horns and make sure they work before I install them. So what I got to do is take these guys back off. I'm probably going to need a screwdriver, which is sitting right over here. Okay. Come on, there we go. You know what I'm going to do? I'm being stupid here. Let's start by taking this stupid bracket off, which isn't even tight. That way I can work with one at a time. There we go. Okay, let's take this guy off. Ow! I just stabbed myself in the hand. Brilliant. All right, so now if I take this little guy, connect it like so, I should be able to just plug it into those wires and test it. Let's see if we can do that. I don't know if there's a positive or a negative on this thing, if it even matters. All right, so now if I go in there, I should be able to just hit the button and get some sound out of this. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. All right, well, that one works. Okay, so now just do the same thing with this one. Get this off without breaking it, hopefully. There we go. then this guy, there we go. Then take this off. Okay, so push that in just enough to not lock it in. Okay. And connecty. Whoops. Connecty. I'm going to take my microphone off so that y'all can hear it. I'll just clip it on here. There we go. All right, I'll be right back. All right, folks. So for some reason, the audio failed to record while I was taking this clip. So I'm just going to talk to you this way. Anyway, this is me just showing you where the original horn and pump was mounted. There seems to be a piece of wood there covered in some kind of a protective cloth to keep it from getting wet. And of course, now there are holes in it from me taking the screws out, so I'm going to have to fill those in with some caulking or something. And all those wires there were attached to it, and now they're loose. But basically, you can see the bracket set up for these horns, and they don't really work with that setup because there's a lot of downward pressure when they're mounted that way. And I don't think it would really hold in that wood very well. And I worry about them bouncing and pulling out. So my idea was to use this bolt here to mount them. This thing I'm touching there is a piece of sheet metal at a 45-degree angle to direct air up into the radiator. And that bolt is one of many that hold it on. So I could probably just pull that bolt out and mount the horns right there. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. All right, that setup's going to work much better. So let me just get this bolt out. Okay. Reach up here. Get this bolt out. Oops. There we go. It's actually a little loose. Good that I'm doing this. Tighten this bolt up while I'm at it. Come on, baby. Come on out. There we go. Okay, whoops. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Now we take our horn, we stick this bolt through. Got this thing, stick that up in there. Crud. Shoot. This bolt is hitting this thing, so I gotta take it apart again, put this bolt in from the other direction. Shoot. All right, I'll be right back. All right, let's try this again. Oop. All right, put our bolt through. Get our nut and washer for the other side. Yes, I do believe this is going to work. Okay, now let's hope I can get this thing out. Doggone it. Oh, there's always a hiccup. Can't get the socket on there because now the bolt's in the way, so I got to get a wrench. What size is that? 7/16. Okay, be right back. 7/16. There it is. Yeah, okay. All right, so now, let's see, get this thing tighten. Nope, that's loosening, it's tightening. All right, stick that guy on there. Find the nut. Where's the nut? There's the nut. Stick that there. Slowly tighten this. It's going to take a few turns. Come on. Almost there. There we go. Yeah. All right, just snug that up. There we go. Yeah, that works well. So now I just have to wire it up to these guys. I don't have any real way of utilizing these plugs, so I gotta just cut these off and splice this in. And it doesn't seem like it matters, positive, negative. It's a 12-volt direct current system, so I don't think that's gonna matter. What is gonna matter though is that these are gonna be exposed to weather, so I'm gonna use these heat shrink. What do they call them? They call them waterproof butt connectors, and I'm not making that up. BUTT connectors. So let's see. Where am I? I brought my thingies out. Here we are. Okay, let's start by attaching these. Let's cut that there. We'll do the same one on the other one. There we go. Okay, we're going to twist these together. And kind of best we can twist these guys together, okay, to make sort of one wire. Then we're going to take our butt connectors, open that box up, there we go, and we're just going to make sure this goes in all the way. There it is. And then we take our thingy again and we pinch it, hold those wires in there, make sure they're in there nicely, securely. There we go. Then we take one of these guys. Again, it doesn't matter which, so I'm just going to cut this connector off. Come on, cut. There we go. And then strip this. There we go. Twisty, twisty. Sticky, any. Oops. In they go. Make sure it's in all the way. Okay. There we go. That's done. Now we just do it again with the other wires. Yep. Doggone it. Come here. And a little bit more than that. There we go. Tricky sometimes to strip off enough wire to work with, but not so much that it sticks out past the end of the connector. Because you've got to use a heat gun to shrink these connectors down and waterproof them, basically. So if there's any wire exposed, it's not going to be waterproof. But if you don't cut off enough wire, and there's not enough to twist together, stick in there and crimp. So it's a balancing act, and really there's no, I mean, I'm sure there is a specific amount of wire that some electrician will mention in the comments, but I always just sort of eyeball it from experience, and I'm usually pretty accurate. There we go. Come on now. Pinchy, pinchy. There we go. And now this one. Why did I put my tool down? Cut this off. Strip it. There we go. We don't have to strip off as much on this one because you don't need to twist it with another wire. There we go. Perfect. Ah, get on there. There we go. There we go. Okay, everything is connected. So now, before we heat shrink them, we test to make sure that the connections are good. So I'm going to take my microphone off and stick it here. There we go. And I'll walk in and hit the button again. Alrighty. Okay, we got it, and that's the first time we've heard them both go at the same time. So now what I got to do is get my heat gun and shrink these down so that water can't get in there and corrode these connections. So I'll do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so the tricky part with this is getting it shrunk down successfully without melting it or the wire. So we'll just sort of turn this on. Okay, that heats up fast. There we go. Come on now. All right. That went pretty well. Still a little warm. So yeah, I think I need to get this end a little bit more. Okay, I got it. So let's see if you can see this. There's actually liquid plastic that comes out the end from the heating process, and that creates a completely watertight seal, so water can no longer penetrate in these connections and corrode them. So yeah, that's that. That job is done. I'm going to get some zip ties. I'm going to secure these wires better. They were attached to the old horns, so I'm going to re-secure all these, and yeah, job done. So that's all for today. I was going to do one more project, but I'm just too tired. I don't feel like doing it today, so I'm going to put that off for another day. We got plenty of time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know if that'd be helpful to anybody. It's kind of unique to this RV, but what the heck? Maybe y'all enjoyed watching it anyway. So that's all. And like I said at the beginning, facebook.com/RamblinMichigander. That's where I'm going to be posting most of my traveling stuff from now on. So if you're on Facebook, go there and follow along so you can see that stuff. Otherwise, we will see you in the next video. Take care.